Hi guys, Jimmy Fluke here for Apex Racing Academy. This is our Red Bull Ring track guide for the Mercedes-AMG GT4 for week 10 of the Falcon Tire Sports Car Challenge. As well as these track guides, we are also giving away our Mercedes-AMG GT4 data pack for free this season, and that includes your qualifying and race setups, your reference lap files, so that's your B lap and O lap files, replay files, and then access as well to our Discord server and our group coaching sessions on a Tuesday evening. There's a link in the description below. All you have to do is go to apexracingac.com, put in your email in order to get your data pack for free. As for Red Bull Ring this week, the car is a little bit sluggish, not gonna lie. This is primarily because the BMW is so strong here this week with its strong turbo, and it's at altitude with a lot of straight line sections. So we're just gonna have to trim the wing out and hope for the best this week, but without further ado, let's get stuck into it. Okay, so into the lap here at Red Bull Ring. We've got a fairly long run from the start-finish line up towards turn 1. Bring the car over to the left-hand side and spot the 100 board, or the difference in barrier colour here on the left-hand side. Get the left side wheels into the green paint. If all 4 wheels go over the white line, that will invalidate the lap, so just do be mindful of that. But from here, it's fairly straightforward. Get the car straightened, down into third gear on the brakes. Not super hard on the peak pressure. We're not taking tons of speed off here. And we've got the uphill as well to help slow the car down. It's really important though, just to be precise in placing the car on the apex. So if I just roll it through, in third gear, you could grab second in a pinch, but third is probably the better way to go. Right side wheels over the middle of the yellow anti-cut curb. Too much and the car will pop too far into the air, and then not enough, you're just not using all of the curb available to you, and you need to use everything because the exit is so tight. So just roll it through. Plenty of throttle before we get to the curb, and ideally full throttle just as soon as we come off the curb on the inside here. And then our track limit is the edge of the red and white curbing. As long as we're touching that, we're good to go. That means left side wheels over the anti-cut curb here on exit. And hopefully it'll look something like this. So up over we go, straddling the curb, and then just making sure to stay disciplined as we come through, and not invalidating our lap by picking up the off-track penalty. From here, we can breathe again, so that's pretty much sector 1 done. Turn 2 is the little left-hand kink here. We don't need to worry too much about that. Just keep the car over to the left-hand side, and we're gonna do pretty much the same thing again. Over into the left-hand side, braking just before the 100 once again, and we're going to get all the way down into first gear. Now there's 2 different ways in which we can go about this, so again, fairly strong on the peak pressure, but not super hard because we want the front tyres to work here. We can either take loads of curb on the inside or very little, and it somewhat depends on car setup here. If we're running with the 8 clutch plates, then it's more likely that we can get traction and drive off the corner by taking loads of curb. If not, there's more reason to avoid the inside curb, straighten the car out earlier, and then try and get the drive off the corner that way. So as played in this case, I took the slightly wider line to try and get the straighter exit because I was running the lower clutch plates on this lap. So once we get onto that inside curb, or at least to the apex, smooth onto the throttle, be patient with it, let the car rotate, and then open the steering wheel and accelerate hard off the corner. On exit, we're not really entertaining this outside anti-cut curb. You can lean into it, but there's no benefit or reason to go over the top of it. So from here, plunging down the hill towards turn 4. And again, we're going to sort of repeat ourselves a little bit. We're going to bring the car over to the left-hand side, left side wheels in paint, don't invalidate. And where the track sort of flattens out, so we're going to brake well before the 100 because it's significantly downhill in terms of our braking, and so it's harder to get the car stopped. Where the track sort of levels off here and where this tire mark becomes quite prominent and you can sort of run over the top of it, that's pretty much where we want to get onto the brake. So we'll call that 120, shall we say. So from here, again, similar sort of brake pressure down in the third and second gear. It's important though this time to turn in quite early and utilize the inside curb. This will aid our rotation. It's quite easy for the car to sort of push and slide away through the apex here. So it's really important to get the right side wheels into the green curbing here. Very little input here actually at this point. I'm letting the car roll and rotate through the corner. Pick up the throttle, let the car kick round, and then open up the steering and then left side wheels as wide as we wish. Just avoid clipping the gravel. That will probably invalidate your lap. Kink of turn 5 is nothing to worry about. Just bring the car hard over to the right hand side to shorten the run towards turn 6, and we'll pause it here. There's a tire mark here that stretches from where it's just the regular tarmac all the way through the green paint towards the red and white curbing. I'm braking pretty much when I get to that tire mark. There's a bit of a different braking zone, just a little trail brake down into third. Just be cautious of the back end stepping out if you're running on the 4 clutch plates here. The car can get quite floaty initially on the way in because there isn't just enough locking from the differential to stabilize the car, so just do be careful of that. But we're trying to just roll the car in towards the inside curbing here. You can take as much or as little curb as you like here. It just depends on how much speed you've scrubbed off before you get to this point. But once here on the inside curb, we can then begin to accelerate. Positive up to sort of 80% throttle, wait for the car to show signs of stability, and then crunch the throttle on the way out, and then tracking out using all of the red and white curbing if you need to. In this case, I did get the car rotated quite quickly, so I don't need to use absolutely everything on the way out, and so I have a nice straightforward run towards turn 7. So up into 4th, and then straight back down into 3rd, just as the access road appears again on the right-hand side here. I'm flicking the car in, and using that sort of all as one fluid motion. Trying to feed the car, and it's really critical to have control here with the left side wheels into the green curbing. This is going to pull the car around and make it so much easier to rotate the car and get the drive off the corner that we're looking for. Once the car shows stability, once again, we can then be aggressive with our throttle and then let the car ease out, and as long as we're touching the red and white curb on exit, then we're good to go. Through here, through turn 8, we can then wrap the curb the whole way around and then accelerate up the hill towards the final 2 corners. So over to the left-hand side we go. Again, spot a reference that we like, and again, this will be a tire mark in the green paint. Just as that tucks back in towards the red and white curbing, that's pretty much my reference. And so we're in 5th gear, braking and turning in one fluid motion, down into 4th and sometimes then 3rd gear. In this lap I did grab 3rd. Up over the inside curb, wait for the car to, again, show some stability before picking up the throttle and trying to let the car rotate through here. It's important to be committed through here, though, to try and maximize your speed. Up into 4th on exit, and as long as we're touching the green and white curbing on exit here, then we're good to go. And as we get past these tire marks here, certainly well before the red paint ends on the left-hand side, then we're going to get back down into 3rd gear for the final corner. So, again, quite gentle on the brake here, down into 3rd, flick the car in, bleed out of it, and then making sure that we take plenty of inside curb here. You can take a little bit more than this, but in this case, if you take too much curb, the car might bottom ever so slightly, so staying just off the anti-cut curb, just on the inside here, will allow us to let the car hit the compression, crunch the throttle, and the car will rotate and pull itself around. Again, our track limit on exit for the final 2 corners is the green and white curbing, so we've got plenty of room to throw the car out nice and wide here. And from here, just make sure not to take too much of the grass on the way through, and it's a straightforward run to the line then for a lap of Red Bull Ring in Mercedes-AMG GT4. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to go over to apexracingac.com to get your free Mercedes-AMG GT4 data pack for the rest of the season. For further questions and info, join our Discord server, which you can access with your subscription. We host a group coaching session on a Tuesday evening, so make sure to check the details in the Mercedes-AMG GT4 car channel once you've signed up. That's all from me this week. See you in the next one.